Okay. Good afternoon, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Starknet All Core Devs call number 41. And before we begin, quick housekeeping items. We'll be recording this session for those who could not join us live today. And please try to keep yourself muted when you are not speaking to minimize the background noise. And I also want to remind everyone that we are at 12 p.m. UTC time slot, which will remain in effect through the end of March. And we have four main agenda items to cover today. And I would like to keep us on schedule to respect everyone's time. So I want to note that mainnet 014.1 deployment is scheduled for December 10th. That's just 6 days away from today. So this call is particularly important for confirming readiness. And yeah, let's get started. So the first point on our agenda is 014.1 mainnet deployment and testnet postmortem report. In our last call on November 13th, November 20th, the testnet had just deployed the day before with some significant issues. And we had a 30 minutes of downtime due to backward compatibility problems. So, Ohad, you mentioned you would have the final mainnet date confirmed, and we are now 6 days away from December 10th target. So, could you start by confirming whether we are still on track for the date?
Yes, we are still on track for December 10. The issues that we experienced in the testnet upgrade have been isolated, fixed, and we tried out a actually we'll try on Sunday, a back-to-back upgrade with the 0.14.0 and 0.14.1 images exactly as they will be on mainnet to confirm everything works smoothly during the upgrade, and we can be in less than 10 minutes of downtime.
Okay. And so, are we confident that the issues that we faced during the testnet have been fully resolved so that we don't face them again in mainnet?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so thank you for the timeline confirmation, Oat. And now, could you walk us through what learnings that we did from the testnet deployment issues and what we have exactly done since then?
Um, so in high level, the issues were around backwards compatibility. Basically, more code entered to 0.14.1 since we did upgrade on integration. So the exact 0.14.0 to 0.14.1 that was done on testnet was actually never done before. We saw the engineering team saw exactly what happened, fixed um, the upgrade procedure accordingly, and we will try it end to end exactly with these images before going on mainnet this Sunday. And this will triple check that we will not encounter this issue. It wasn't really a bug, more like a compatibility breaking change in our code that we neglected to mention while considering the testnet upgrade.
Okay. Okay. And could you also give us a quick update on the network stability since the last call?
Yeah, so we had a major incident on testnet last week. Mainnet is fully stable. Um, on testnet, we detected some issue that is basically there was some inconsistency between the blockifier and what Sharp expects to prove. When a very specific combination of system calls are reverted, but then the transaction captures them and continue to run successfully. So in this specific case, there was not enough information registered around the um, revert details basically of this syscall, which caused the component that prepares things to Sharp to fail. This issue is now completely solved. The team also did rigorous checks around all other similar syscalls to ensure that we are not in a place where, okay, this syscall is fixed, but syscall near it will create a similar issue. Um, so yes, this bug is fixed.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for that comprehensive update, Ohad. And let's now move on to our client team updates. So we'll try to hear from each of the client teams. And I would like to ask each team to keep their updates to approximately 4 minutes so we can hear from everyone. So we'll start with Pathfinder. Christian, in a last call, you had just released 0.21.1 as a hotfix on the same day to fix an execution layer bug. So could you start us by letting know how that's been performing in production? And along with that, JSON RPC 0.10 adoption status and Starknet RSVR progress.
Okay, so we've actually released two more hotfix releases since then. The latest one is from yesterday, Starknet 021.3. These are really just mostly just include small fixes, but yesterday's release, our latest release is probably important because it upgrades Blockifier to a version that fixes the inconsistency issue that Ohad has just mentioned, so that the execution layer in Pathfinder should now be in fully sync with the actual sequencers. This has been causing some problems. Last week there were reports of some transaction traces not matching the results on the sequencer or the output from the feeder gateway. This should have been fixed. We've also found a couple smaller inconsistencies. So in particular, thanks to the Starknet Go team from Nethermind, we fixed a few issues that were exposed by their test cases, most of which is also in yesterday's release. So as far as we understand, this latest release of Pathfinder is now ready for the mainnet upgrade next week. So I don't really expect any showstopper issues to show up with that.
Mhm. And if you can tell about RPCO 1.0 adoption status.
Well, we do so this latest release of ours does support the latest version of the specification, the final version. I don't know of any potential issues with that, but we will see as the adoption for the new JSON RPC version is more widespread. As far as I understand, the various API libraries are just rolling out releases which add support for this new version. So I think that the majority of users are still probably not using this. So it's a bit early to tell if there are any issues with the new versions, I guess.
Okay. And I also wanted to know about the validator attestation tool migration planning that you guys were doing last time.
So in fact, as far as we understand, this upgrade to the new JSON RPC version is not really required, as all nodes will continue supporting JSON RPC 09. So we are not really rushing that upgrade. We are still, so on our end, that upgrading to a new JSON RPC release will require upgrading Starknet RS, or now it's called Starknet Rust, or I probably kept lost track of what the current name is. But all in all, it's not a required upgrade, not even for the mainnet upgrade next week. So things should be working fine even after next week's upgrade with the current release. The only thing that needs to be upgraded is your nodes to be compatible with the new version on mainnet, but the attester tool itself should work as is.
Okay. Thank you, Christian, for the update. And we can go on to Juno. So, Rodrigo, we didn't hear from you in the last call due to I believe you were present at DevConnect at that time. So, let's go over the update from Juno team. So, could you give us a comprehensive update on where Juno stands with O14.1 and your readiness for the December 10th mainnet deployment first? And then we can talk about RPCO 1.0 implementation progress. And any recent releases or improvements since early November?
Yes. So I think we are, or by this point, we already have full support for Starknet 14.1. So anyone who is the latest version of Juno is going to have uh, full support for RPC v10, and it's also going to be able to support the latest network. So everyone who's in mainnet should be already using Juno should already break. And yeah, also as Christian was mentioning, Starknet Go found some inconsistencies. There were also some inconsistencies in Juno that we are planning to fix and put a release for. So yeah. Um, I think yeah.
And any other
Rega-
recent releases or improvements since early November?
Yeah, let me look at it just for a second. Yeah, I think there has been mostly being related with RPC and the Stacknet of 14.1. We don't have any other thing just ready to share right now. But yeah, everything has been giving support to Stacknet 014 point 1 and then some internal things, some refactor.
Okay. 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 Thank you, Rodrigo. And now let's hear from the Carnot team. Himank, in our last call, you mentioned that Madara 14.0 was almost ready with just final fixes remaining. And you had started with 14.1 evaluation and with about a 2 week timeline. So that timeline is up now. So could you give us an update on both, update us on both the things?
Yeah, surely. So release 14.0 is done and dusted from both sides, Madara as well as NOS. We have moved on from it. We have made sure that it works perfectly well, and it is being rigorously tested right now on top of Essence Epolia. So that's going on the 14.0 side. On the 14.1, we have made a good amount of progress, and we have done major of the code work that was required, and we are in internal testing right now. So I'm very sure that by the next call that we have, we'll be done with 14.1 compatibility as well on both SNOS as well as on Madara. On SNOS, we are already testing, and we've tested like 6K, 7K blocks that are already running perfectly well. It's just everything is being rigorously tested so that we can make sure that we're not done something, you know, we don't have any bugs as of now. So yeah, that's majorly it on the 14.2 and 21 side.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Thank you for the update, Himank. Now, do we still have Ohad on the call? Mm, yes. Yes.
Yes.
So, Ohad, one more thing which I wanted to ask is you acknowledge that the roadmap and development plans were under communicated and you're committed to posting something transparent about what's being worked on.
Mm-hmm.
So, you said you would do something by next week from that call, the last call which we had. So,
Yeah.
do you have something in mind about the roadmap in terms of communication?
Um, yeah, you're fully right. We're right now in the midst of basically evaluating what we'll do next year. And then derive, like I would say, 3 to 6 months detailed roadmap and another 6 months vague roadmap based on that. So when I saw that these discussions happen and this is the time scope, I opted to wait slightly more, so I'll have better things to say. Yeah, basically we currently investigate future cost and throughput improvements, and we also want to move towards decentralizing at least validation by mid next year. So we think what features it will include, what compromises we need to make in order that it will be mid next year and not end of the year towards 2027,
Mhm.
and so on. If you think it's worthwhile, I can also publish something a bit more vague,
Mhm.
but I have nothing concrete. Like for example, the things that we work on, reduce finality times on pre-confirmations, is a transparent upgrade that will not require a Starknet version. Even if we change the fee structure, it potentially will not require a new Starknet version. So yeah, this is the current status.
Okay. Thank you, Ahad. And then we can move on to the fourth point on agenda, which is consensus implementation update. So yes, Jasmina is also back.
Yeah.
And we missed her update as well in the last call, I guess, due to Dev Connect again. So could you give us an update on Malachite and consensus implementation work, especially on the topics like Malachite O 6.0 release status, client team integration coordination right now, and like general update on consensus side?
Yeah, sure. Sorry, by the way, about the video. My Wi-Fi has been spotty today.
No worries, no worries.
So I'm waiting for a response from the team at Circle about the release date because I've seen they pushed new changes and are working on the docs, so I expect it to be soon. Heads up that there are apparently some API breaking changes in the Malachite Consensus Core package and the Core Types package. So from what I've seen, it's mostly signatures or arguments on the functions, but there might be additional functionality. So I hope that by the next call we'll have a clear insight because I'm gonna anyway sync with them to coordinate on that. There's not all of these are not really bug fixes, so there's nothing majorly concerning there. They're just removed and cleaned up some things that are not used or that are not needed and so on. So just kind of code cleanup. On another front, like in terms of client teams coordination, we have not, there hasn't been any news lately because I don't think that we had any open work streams, but in case like something comes up, I'll let you on the next call. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's kind of the latest status on the consensus engine. We haven't had any new problems that are concerning or worth sort of noting that the rest of the teams.
Okay. So thank you for those updates, Jasmina. And we can move on to the next section, which is discussing some other businesses which are here. So today we have Henry present here who would like to share some important information with all of us. So hi, Henry.
Hey guys, yeah, I'm just making a short appearance here to mention that we have a poll coming soon. We collaborated with Starkware to come up with a few questions. But if you guys are at the forefront of developing Starknet infrastructure, so if there are some questions you want to ask to token holders, this is the right place to do so. So feel free to send us questions, product questions, or whatever question you feel may be valuable to get the opinion of token holders on. And this is something that will happen in December. So as the first call, if you want to ask something to token holders, tell us. And then the second call is all of you are very involved in the development of the Starknet network. And the foundation is not voting on proposals and on polls. We're giving voting power to delegates, people who want to voice their opinion. So if that's you, if you have an opinion on what should be the future of the network and you want to get involved, yeah, you should definitely be a delegate. We'd love to have you people on your team, anyone who's keen to take some time to participate in Starknet governance to participate in those. So I will share those link right now in the chat. And yeah, that's just my call to action. Register as a delegate.
Okay. Thank you, Henry. And does anyone have any other topics that they would like to discuss or any questions for the group? This is an opportunity to raise anything if we haven't covered something. Okay. So, all right. If nothing else, then we can proceed to close. So thank you everyone for joining today's call and for all the updates that you have shared. Just a few important reminders before we close. The first mainnet 14.1 deployment is happening on December 10th. That is this coming Tuesday, just 6 days away from now. So please ensure that everyone is prepared as always. And our next call is scheduled for Thursday, December 18th, same time, 12 p.m. UTC. That's 2 weeks from today. And will be our last call before the holidays. So we'll be able to discuss how the mainnet deployment went. And the recording for today's call will be published on the YouTube channel and the meeting notes will be shared on GitHub. So thank you all for your time today and contribution. Have a great rest of your day and I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you. Bye.
Cheers.